with this scam betsa mo mergo o kra ba re child labor na ke ya ke ba damotla re ba re ka le bana wa bona motantse a re tlo tsofala ta ka tsa di go sekolo so nna ke tshwere 14.5 ke tshwere vene ke ka bona ha ebe as a manager just like other managers ke meeting wa region go fita go tselo tsela he ba tsena furu ba khulela ke nna shop so
but bro you were still in your early 20s
early nna tumelo ba ka sale mfana nna obviously there is a general perception that go government nga obereki
no
go le tsena 4 days or offer 4 days o ka no offer medical wa ya high o ka nna after 2 months wa re wena o lapile wa bona lo tso na pie pele go spudiseng ke tsene ke tlilo ikutsa ya anya ke mothatsa manga o collect something envelope after hours
it's better
a etsa maisane
le envelope ke bona ha batla banyana
ha batla lo tse ntsi ya tla tsa pholo o lo ke di subwoofer ko morao weekend lo binanyana somewhere ne sto di nna
motho a subwoofer ya Polo o faila go UDs.
Thank you.
Yeah.
King David Studio podcast.
We host a lot of people who go to prison on podcasts. I've noticed it's a popular thing. But I've always been curious about cops who go to prison.
Yes.
And I found one.
Yes.
Dumisani Nyundu.
Yes.
Ukrena uthi
ake sharp umteva.
Eish. Stories how man, Sinkira never.
Yeah, you know, even from a storyteller as well.
Yes.
It is not as easy as it is.
Okay.
Because you know, I went through some couple of researches. I think if not number 2, my story comes the second after the document of the former captain Andre Stander. And there was a movie called Stander.
I know it.
The one who used to rob banks.
I know it.
And then I think
he was doing it for fun.
Yes, and I think he was assassinated in the United States of America as a fugitive. But what makes a difference between me and Captain Stander is that I can tell my own documentary while I'm still here.
Yeah.
And then, you know.
What he went
through. So we didn't know what he went through. Yeah. He never had an opportunity to be on a podcast just like me. So now for me, it feels so great because my other side of the story, it is being narrated by me.
Yes.
You see, so that is how it goes, Endeavor.
And you wrote an entire book on the subject.
Yes, this is actually a diary. As the name says, it's a diary of an ex-cop.
Yeah.
It is not a creative art. It's a reality, this book. Actually, this book, I started writing it inside a prison cell in Koshimamburu.
Yeah. Yo.
So while I was there, I started scribbling some things, but without even some certainties that how my life would be when I exit prison, you know. But it only started gaining momentum when I was outside.
Yeah.
You understand? So it takes real guts to be an ex-law enforcement officer, to also come back again to the society that you have offended and say that, you know what, this was the situation and this is my humble, way of saying that I have wronged you. You understand? So most of the people who are in the police, not saying that like it's very scarce for a policeman to be arrested. Like if I can tell you, Deva, last month, one of my ex-colleague, of which I cannot name, but he was given a 15-year sentence on the very same particular charge that I was charged with.
He was still serving as a cop?
Yes, he was still serving as a cop. He was given 15-year sentence, the very same charge, almost. And then that other month...
Not the same crime, not the same incident.
No, not the same incident. Yes, his own things,
thing.
Yes.
Similar to yours.
Similar to him, but from the very same juristical area of employment. We were stationed in one unit. You learn at a later stage about the unit where was I working as a policeman. Yes. So, and the other lady, of course, I've also heard that they've given her, I think it's 32 years imprisonment.
Also a police
officer. So that's why I'm saying that issues that... that involve police, they are still being hidden under the carpet, you know, because we are not saying that much enough. Sometimes it's because of the general perception of the society, people, but have a societal rejection, you understand, because of which people will always say, but police bona fela or Yes, actually after launching this book, I think it was the second chapter of a healing, because it heals me a lot. whenever I narrate my story, because I'm saying it with a smile. Whatever that happened, it happened.
Yeah.
But I've got a story to tell.
I want to start at an interesting point. Your last day in prison.
Yes. Wow.
Let's do this first. How long were you there for?
Look, I was charged with the possession of Schedule 6 medicine. Yes.
I don't want the case.
Yes.
I want the last day.
The last day in prison.
So now I'm asking the technical question of the length.
Yes, I'm giving you the weight of a sentence. It carried a 15-year sentence. But now, due to a lengthy trial of 8 years, I was trialed for 8 years for a case of a possession. That means the state couldn't prove me. Like the state struggled to prove a case of possession for 8 years. Only possession. Remember, one of the simplest, can I say description of a possession?
Yeah.
It is when somebody is in control of something. You are in possession.
That's it.
But it took 8 years.
To prove that.
To prove that for the state, yes. This is somehow I think it might also be raising eyebrows on how our judiciary system is working, on how our prosecution is working. But at the end of the day, I think it was a journey that was worth it for 8 years because it carries a lot of learning inside that journey. You understand?
So you were in prison for 8 year period?
No, I was in prison for 4 years.
For 4 years.
Yes. So the presiding officer actually, he took it into consideration the lengthiness of my trial. That he's not going to give me 15 years. He rather give me 4 years direct imprisonment. When I say direct imprisonment, that means I'm going to jail for 4 years.
You're going to be in orange overalls
for 4 years. Yes.
Yeah.
But officially that 4 years, due to a good behavior, I only served 2 years. I was released after 2 years. Then I went to go and serve outside prison. I was placed under parole.
Under parole, yeah.
Yes, and then I completed the remaining 2 years outside. So that is how it all went.
Give us the last day in prison. I'm curious. Or what happens when a guy is about to be released?
Wow, can I make a comparison about the first day in prison, like the last day in prison?
Please, go right ahead.
The first day in prison, when you arrive in prison, you are actually homesick. You are sick because you are from outside. You are homesick. That thing, it happened at a very rapid speed to an extent that, I think when they were sentencing me, it was around about to 11 o'clock, before after tea time.
Yes.
By the Pretoria Central Magistrate Court at Regional Court 2. When a presiding officer sentences you, I thought like I was in a roller coaster. Like, at some point.
You were spinning.
Yes, because these Leonard guys, when they are there wearing that cloak there, they are in authority and then they must shake you somehow so that you feel it. It must get inside your heart.
Must hit you.
Yeah, so acting judge, I'm sending you to prison. Remember, it was the three of us who were arrested. I was the first accused on the matter because the vehicle that was used, it was my car.
Yeah.
There was a second accused. There was a third accused. Sure. The second accused, he was not found guilty.
Sure.
They say due to the reason that
in the case, almost like he wasn't there.
But he was there.
Yeah.
And he actually was the main man on the case. To be fair and honest, he was the main man.
Yeah.
And then accused number 3, me and number 3, actually, we were sent due to our experience and the knowledge where the consignment was.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
You understand?
Mari, and that's you were both of you were sentenced.
No, it's only me who was sentenced to prison. Accused number 3, he was given a suspended sentence. They said that he can be rehabilitated outside prison. One of the reasons, and that thing, I remember I was speaking to Advocate Mudau, one of my legal counsels during the trial. He once appeared for me once or twice there. He said that, look, sometimes the presiding officers, these people are looking at you. Dumisani, you've got high confidence levels. So somehow you might feel, I'm not saying that it is legislated, but you might feel that when a presiding officer looks at you, he somehow sees you like as overconfident as if that is your court. So somehow he will stretch his hand just to out then half as we someone nanga o isa ke nyaka during on your matter, that is what happened, because when the prosecution was wrapping the case, the state prosecutor herself, he was a lady, a white lady. She said that, Your Worship, the state welcomes the conviction. However, we are so happy with everything, because this is a first-time offender, whether if he's given a chance of a fine or whether we are okay with it.
Yes.
And because I was a first-time offender, I was counting now my cattle. Okay, first-time offender. Okay, it's a non-contact crime actually, because it was theft. Okay, I qualify. I've submitted by my pre-sentencing report, because during that time I was taking care of my wife. I'm a married man with 2 children, and I was staying with the elderly, also my mother, during that time. So I thought that, look, maybe he will have mercy on me. But when he was starting reading the summaries, and he said that, I'm sending you to prison. I was with my friend, Phili Nyembezi. He's my friend from the college. We went together. He's still in the police.
Yes.
So because when I look at the back like this, I could see tears.
This guy is crying.
And he didn't even want to look at me because of my character, you will at some other stage learn it that, look, this is Dumisani, and now what you see in me is what you get.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people, but who spend only 2 minutes, then you end up 5 years.
Yes,
That is how charismatic I was. Or maybe I'm still like that.
No, you are.
Yes. So
You are.
as Ari, it is a further 9 years suspended and a further 3 years suspended for 4. He's just reading like chapter to chapter. When I was kind of 9, 3, 4. This is 25 years. Karamo, I'm not coming back. So like that thing, he's busy filling up the warrant there. The clerk of court, everybody's busy writing there. That thing, it happened within a bit of a second.
Sure.
So that is, I'm explaining to you, by the way, the first day. Then immediately, as boys and girls in blue, we've got that feeling for one another. These policemen that are working in the court orderlies. Always I remember that old Mandala, he was looking at me like this, because you can see that this person is carried over, because this is one of a person that used to be a member, because we wear a common uniform.
True.
So that approach, he just look at me, then he's pointing me that door, because public. And I was sentenced from outside, remember? But that morning I knew it that I'm not coming home.
Sure.
Because I couldn't even look inside my daughter's eyes. I think she was round about, she was about 7 years old. I couldn't even
So
look.
you felt that you're not coming back.
I felt it. I knew that today I'm not coming home. I even left the car at home. I used public transport. I even took a jean that was torn, because I don't know how prison looks like. I said that let me wear this one and the sandal, so that when I'm there, because prison, the way is so projected. Like, we're going to fight today. I must prove that I'm a man. Plus leading all those myths, So that is how vulnerable I was on the first day. So on our arrival at Koshimampuru, those general administrations, they can see those people that you are vulnerable, and even the correctional officers. I think these people, they are more or less like psychologists, and a big up to them, because there was these 2 ladies that they were taking my particulars. Kan no le podisa buti ara wa malena le tlhabisa khala o itse a re bile monyetse bona o ka re mosadi a wa ka o tlhala wa bona so the other lady she's about tlhale le wa ka o tlhalo eno nna wa ka wa utlwa. So I thought that this speech by preparing go balance, or at least o mwana ntshose o mwana amfenyal, just to cheer me up. Then there was not even a uniform in Intekana. I was 128 kilograms.
Yes,
I was big.
You're a big guy.
Yes. So bampa only the top in Intekana. Maruku knows na bone botsela. Katsana ka ona jean e le top orange. So that is my first day. Let me go to the last day when I was about to go home.
This is 2 years later.
Yeah, 2 years later. Now, when I was about to go home, I was like, nervous, anxiety, scared. When they tell you that you are going home tomorrow, it's like you can tell them that, look, I'm okay here.
Really?
It can happen psychologically. You can be scared. There are many people, especially the lifers, people who are coming back 25 years, the 30 years, but 40 years. Huna bamba banango J block go Koshimampuru. Bao, they were like just blue trousers and white shirts. Mara ke mapantiti na ra ba itse ke uniform. Bao ba fa le kia ba tikshella ba tikchulela. Yes, kore khale ba le ka mohare. Motho o ba montsha ba mo ruta how an ATM operates. Go na le motho a tseneng go turung gape ka 1989. O sa le teng ka moturung go ngwana beno.
Before the cell phone.
Before tshwantse ba mo ruta ATM a tobetsa tut and then inside chelete bona ba tshwantse chelete bjang. Tshwantse ba mo ruta like card ya banka. Hore bereka ba go J block. I remember there was this story bar hunala another guy, he was from Mamelodi. But when he was released, ba mo release itse and let's go straight as ba le ba ne ba qualify for the parole. So ba mo fa that courtesy ya mo cup. Ba ko na ba supetsa re go teng a granel mafias go a gra dintlo tsa di RDP go teng.
Where is it?
Yes, ko yena ko ba mo gwebileng a nna go teng. Yes, that guy ba re ka na go ba mo I think it was in 1989. O tsamaile di tronko tsotlhe in South Africa. O tlojika bo kutama ko ka di transfer so. Ha fitla kra ile nel mafias. The other one from KZN, and I can tell you, people can laugh, but that is an honest truth. The other one, he was a Zulu-speaking guy, while Muslim. So, but the wing killing a hoba like a language. Like you can hear moto limele because but that person who spent almost 10 years. Alekamo kore kamba ibitsa kulukutu kore alekamo highly maximum ke ba le ba 23 hours log. But and 1 hour exercise.
Yes.
I lose a speech. When he arrived in Natal, he was from KZN. Ufitile kwa baba supetsa ba Grail Moses Mabida. Arena nanamo ba Grail Stadium sa Moses Mabida. So batho ba pantita ka mohare. And I don't want to say that Rena we were lucky, but batho ba teng ka marathon.
Yeah.
So on the last day, I was very scared. I remember I didn't know what to say to even my other fellow inmates, because on the last year of my imprisonment, I think it was 6 months prior before I went to the parole board. Salagato ako sectioning. Remember, if you are a policeman or maybe any other office of the government, an office bearer government, they look at your crime. And then banalo unalunale this thing, or maybe you are there by default, or it's just a mistake that anybody can do. So now I denied being locked up alone. Salga hana ke tsena. But hapo ena tshwantse ro be separately ka no na ke sectioning.
Why is that? Why do they do that?
No, they do it maybe because the very same reasons are wena lo ponesa go kopana le motho ngileng go mo tshwara ka mo and then a fight will break through the nkara. No man, na mina all along I've never worked in Pretoria. Na ever since from college ke le motho a Joburg. And then na le batho ngileng ga ba tshwara I never abused them. Procedure, even they could greet me because I never took my career personally. Most police are in personally. Sometimes it's none of my business. Yes. So I was very, very fragile. I remember one of the friends that I met, the Blade Runner himself, Oscar Pistorius. I stayed next to him. So Oscar, with that sort of voice, Dumisani, my brother, and Swaramolete, or at I know how you're feeling because I've been going home for more than twice. I know that feeling. You remember very throughout his journey.
Because he was
once in and out,
and then came back again.
So I feel for you. You won't even sleep, my brother.
He understood the feeling.
He understood the feeling. Even when we were sitting and watching TV, you could see that I'm not there. I'm traumatized. Like it's no longer that Dumisani or only participative reader this and that. Because I was so participative in I didn't want that. So I was scared. I was very, very scared that night.
Did you sleep?
I didn't. So each and every radio or TV or but like until like my face that I got wrong
yes.
I betile ke bo ma 5 ka 6 ba bula. So o tla phasitshela go la di parabela le di key he chauke mama ya re tsena ka mo tla ba tologa ba phinola di master logo he ba tla monna gore he ba re khatlang something went down on me I'm about to be free. Wow. Wait says never bula mo ke tshaba lo hata mo phasing ele ya bona hele kana na go setso shana ba di sopo me toho le di na ke feta fela batho ka ra ka ba bone ke shower no na ke shower go tlhapa. A day before during that weekend visit my wife brought me like some nice new pairs of trousers, some nice golf shirt ne ke na le 2 years ke sa sekolong ya kore ke nyako utlwe re ka cologne santsane ke kgonong ka monatenyana na le
So clean cologne.
ba ntletse le cologne le go reception le ka sena because la to be
Yeah, of course.
yes go le sprayla ko teng o se ka no fitla ka tsena mo showereng kore ka ya no ntshela ka metsi so and somewhere somehow go le dikeledi ne di tswa because like I'm still going to see my children. It has been 2 years without seeing my children. Remember, now I did in as a family, we've agreed that I don't want to see my children.
Yeah.
Because they are so young, they cannot understand. I mean, they're in a primary school level. Papa prison. I mean, how about that prison? Primary. Prison is for bad people. So I didn't want them to see a bad daddy.
Yeah.
All along, from their knowledge, it was Papa who busy ka koso train ma podisa go Mpumalanga. O ile kosong wa bona. But I knew it already the day I come out. Somewhere I'm going to tell them anyway. But when the time is right.
Wow.
So that was the feeling.
So you did finally use cologne.
I did finally use cologne by the reception. And after even putting it, I remember. Kawela back to the hospital. Everything, your blood pressure. Wow. Check any injuries. So the very same final inspection report. So that you don't go outside when no feature no. When now salbo twister ankle ba irang or for all those nitty-gritties ke tsene ka 128 kilogram by the way ka mo go buditseng so most calling on that morning ne ke kala 82
Jesus.
Yeah, ke tronko.
Yes, and you lost a lot of weight.
Ke tronko.
You lost half a person.
Wa tronka e dlale zona tseo kore wa iputsa mara what is it that they mean about mo pantita and happy more about only 2 years behind.
Yes, the people who are there for much longer.
Thank you. Ke tronko ya ho hamulla.
Wow.
O tlo nna lo tla bo tsortsa mo pantita and you ask yourself like, what is ho pantita can't re pila but no pantita.
You.
Kore wena o ka mo hare ba no wa bona.
The time with Oscar, your first meeting with him.
You know what? When I came to Atteridgeville, when I was transferred to Atteridgeville, remember, after I was sentenced, we went to the main Pretoria Central Prison.
Yeah.
Then they look at your sentence. Then I was classified as a medium risk prisoner.
Okay.
Due to my sentence, not even more than 5 years. Then I was transferred to Atteridgeville Prison.
Yeah.
Upon my arrival at Atteridgeville Prison, I didn't stay. Na ke ile ko section nga ona le other in ya ka ya majiteng go di dicing ke bona ba utsuba BB ke kutlwelle batho because I believe I was still working with people, so-called criminals. So I still want to know how are they thinking. I wanted to learn. Next thing I get wrong with arrogance.
Yeah.
And then more give up. And when even people are asking me, you know, a trial, it is much painful. More than even a sentence.
Yeah, I've heard that statement before.
Let me tell you something. I've been tried for 8 years for a case of possession. It's like somebody's pointing me with a firearm like this.
For eight years.
And that somebody's like, can I pull the trigger or can I not? So that thing, through that 8 years, there were many things that happened along that 8 years. But you know, somehow, once you are sentenced, you are now at that concluding part of your life. I am concluding this now. Yeah. So this is the end. There is nothing more that they are going to do to me. Let me go and serve.
And you did.
Wow. Yeah, I did, man.
I asked that Oscar Pistorius question.
Yes.
Because I want to immediately after go to
the day you met him. Yes. I was a storeroom manager.
Okay.
I was a storeroom manager in prison. Negeswara ya ko Atteridgeville in particular. Negeswara di kiata store. Ko rotsena motare, Nyundu. Like, was it these people that so I don't know. They open your file, they interview you by the social worker. They even asked me that before the police, what is it that you are doing?
Okay.
I told them that look, I was in a furniture retailing environment.
Yeah.
I was a branch manager. Otherwise, I was the first black branch manager to be promoted. There were times you know, Ellerins was.
No.
Yeah, so I was a branch manager at 21. So by level, okay, we to calculate. But when we go to room over a stock. So calculate the sepats tsotlhe tso di bona ka mo di vaslap di teeth brush di cold teeth paste go logistic e otlhe la bona and then ne ba lebele still le file ya ka mo as a first as a first convict, or no, I cannot even any other records. Because remember, one other thing in again, enjoy once a month. Go to Akatrongo, Nersamaga Lori. And Leona, just driving from Attridgeville prison through the military area to the main logistics. Yeah, who knows a fellow fit and a fellow show who was stresses. That is the psychology of being locked up.
Wow.
Why to go trongo who no fit? Why me munya go bone loan, wabona green ringer loan. Kur unoka ikuna mo smell or ke smell loan wa boela ka mahar.
You feel different.
Yes, because even at Ridgeville prison, the main thing there is agriculture.
Yeah.
Walimiwa go, and then they produce vegetables. Other prisons they come and collect for other prisons. Una di trongo tsa tswana bo di zoner vatere.
Yes.
Ba busy ka bo di nama. Ba bereka ka bo di poultry bo di luikopo. So prison is busy.
Yes. So there's a thing going.
Yeah.
There.
So now, for me to meet Oscar, I was at the forefront of meet. There was no prisoner who came to Attridgeville who didn't know me during that particular time, because you must pass by me.
Because you have to get.
Yes, get your uniform. I'll give you your size. Go first pass house out tlapa. Ho's not on. Go fe di colgate go fence tsotlhe go fe kwartiri parabela. Ho's na di tlapa. Faka ka kwartiri size mang. Ka ngwala ke sainam. Ka stoko sa ka balance. Yeah.
What a role.
Yeah, hefetsa go fe di morning sleepers for winter nyana mo tse brown. Yeah, government is taking care of people,
Sure.
South African prisons. That's why there is so-called Batpargidi Hotel. Yes, you would agree. But we'll discuss that at some later stage.
Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely.
So, Chief Ngwenya, I remember. Rabiza Chief, I don't know where that title is coming from. Chief,
what
like
is
the officers, the correctional
okay.
officers. Uta goes to Rumar, Nyundu, please man, there is this transfer yet la mo Kenya ku prepare dilo, Rubano Kemar. Anyway, Tsiaba to Bababidi. Renko Frante, okay. They don't tell us who's that prisoner is. Mara, Trongo in the news bulletins Savona, called Trongo in a channel 403, 445. In a little gossips, internal is a government. Kill a facility in Gamor. Marsam Kevar,
oh, there was already a rumor.
So when I arrived by the reception, it was through the butlers like this. When I arrived at that Eve, then Bawula Gomora. Emon, against Galevella. This white boy got Justin Timberlake can so okay, Oscar. Oscar. Campino Gente so. So if it Lamola, Wafitla reception, I kept trying to stoop a mola. Wafitla was stoop a meno and Mola. Where is your file? What? Just like any other prisoner. Wabon. So Wafitla Oscar meet Dumisani.
Yeah.
He's our storeroom controller or Gogo storeroom. Anything sponges or robala leading. Please Dumisani, Leana move just like any other inmate. Anaga Tlakan Samola, well, Unal Beckets are high side Lengas or Namu, and the Beckets are going Sana no like a Louis Vuitton. Like a cat box, yeah, the Apollo.
Honalana man, what's like Louis Vuitton motive?
What's a Benon so Gilliam
Markila waiting. Waiting try like
Baba. Cotrong, however, only Becklin and a canal bouquets. Like a box at the Apollo, by Cavarille, Mountwatangama for Giddy Capets are all on. And then yeah, Kiela good Dimuqualo can it a log pet local Kikistia. Everybody was a my carry into it. Get transfer, Corey. Whether Barcos, I know your mother, you're washing a house.
So Tamara Kistia.
Kistia, and Kistia will regular on a camar. What's in a cat on well, you're here at a variety of books to read, reading material, reading magazines, so on. So get him quick and cookies and he's a fetamol outfit. We shake hands. Wabone, how you, my brother? A million ankies. Happy my pantitras have. So, so now close to Sakamuta to river go to Rumbato, and let me tell you something. The most scariest person in prison came to us Nanglebadi.
Yeah.
Because we push or unsitaba in Chamaka or we relay. Marabatos, I mean, Chino, Baugrabaruti, what's leading another way. It's about Tazo. How I never tells with the giddy keeper, Rafa the 20 cigarette, Barabaracella di. So every time we had to shake hands more, then we move Biano. Refeta hospital section. Here is what like you caught the in a city like Batwa would the inmates of Lidimont, what like you was sports. What's Willamina Guilane? It was a London 2012 London Olympics after Oscar Feta running trailer high.
After winning.
Melody.
They were excited.
Oscar. And you know, Liana, with that attitude, there is He just made the hard little, ska. Go thabile, o ka re go di Olympic. That is the present entertainment. Rata mali ena re busy ra kulukutu na ya go di single sele. Ba bitsa kulukutu. A re tsana mola ba bethakia ra bulela motle mola. Ne ke tla ke tshwara dipontse tse pedi tsa high bileng because of like his condition. O nyaka disponche yana bona. Ha ka mo khipa mola wa fitla. Mar o fragile itse re mang ke mang wa tshwereng dilo tsa hae. This and that wa bona.
Too many people
around there leading. Ai wa fitla mola ka mo setlela mola ke ra anything but no. O tlo nantsa tlanza. And I was a president by the way ya PMC. I was elected on the second week.
PMC king.
But it's prisoners monetary what it's like it's an intermediary body between the prisoners and the officials.
Okay.
Like I was attending the meetings with the head of prison.
Oh, SRC.
SRC. Nekele SRC ya ka mo. Yeah. Like I was attending meetings re bolela ka lo tsa bo di sports activities.
Okay.
Lo tsa bo di match bo library how we balance. Yeah, ke nna ke khono ba mpitse mo or sometimes lo na le some discipline issues ne ba bitsana.
Okay.
And then ke tla le committee internal top 6 ya rena. Hape le nna ke rekile go Nazareth ya ka mahara. Ne ke na le top 6 ya. Yeah, ka nna le treasurer ya ka nna le oye mona ka felela mola. Ne ke swere ile top 6. Na ne ke le rango. Na ne ke le has ne ke win a conference da. Yeah, so ka win a conference la ka bua da ke imagine as a president.
Yeah.
So ne re kono attend the lead meetings tsa the sporting activities ka mohare this and that. So we think about they give you that benefit and by itullo so dia o healer because at least they will keep her busy other than o tsona mele scaffold ke mpeto by the way. Yeah, o lebella di ceiling o wa ra ska tla se tsonyo go jama hare di razor ra ba no ngwira wa bona.
Yes.
Then that is how we met in a nutshell.
Did he settle though in those few days?
No, those few days well now I was busy at the store. So and next time go sectioning ela ya bona.
Kana o ba bizang section?
Ba bitsa hospital section ke kulukutu.
Do you know why that name? What does that even mean?
Kulukutu kore ke di single sele kore ke he ke hospital kore ke go batho ba nang di special needs. Normally they ke go ba bjang batho ba di special needs.
Okay.
Like all prisoners bo madalo na ba khala ba tsena go turungong ba na tshwere ngwana di private party na relay.
So ba fella da.
Yeah, okay, le batho ba ileng hore ba tsena sekolo. Motho nentse le student la unisa o nyako studies things like that ba itse khono na ali one ya bona. And then a leading le batho ba other sexual orientations.
Okay.
Ba ileng hore ba ka ba vulnerable to the other inmates wa bona. They lock them at that side.
Interesting time.
Yes,
man.
so naga depela go section e mola ka vela go chela story musaka. That is how we met.
I'm curious to know about the excitement. Yeah, Oscar.
Yes.
In your opinion, having been there and observed it,
yes,
why were the guys reacting like that? We know he's famous. Mari, the reaction was over the top.
No, let me tell you something. I think it is part of prison entertainment. Look, that man, he carries weight.
Yeah.
Irrespective of the transgression or what brought him there. I mean, he's a well-known figure.
True, internationally.
Yeah, whether we want to accept it or not. So I think most of the people, it was their chance to see him live.
Okay.
He's wearing just like us. Because there's that element of commonality.
Yeah.
Everybody's in orange.
Yeah.
So then, from there after we met, because now I was mostly based at the storeroom. Sectioning. 8:30 ke span verke dia tsotswa ba mashimo.
Okay.
Baba yang kai, baba yang kitchen kore ra tswa ka dispane. So ne ke tswa mo go khula my storeroom. Ke bula shop wa ka ya ke ntsha motšhina o tlatswa. Di sepa ke thomela ka la di washing ka mola.
So you spend most of your day there?
Most of my day ne ke spendela go and ne ke na le certain private benefit for yona that place and I can say it here.
What is it?
Ne ke enjoy toilet ya ka mola. It was so private and clean. I don't want to tell you.
So you looked forward to it.
Or every day I rather even ever get the time according to my toilet visit. I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Let me sleep because I was sectioning. What's it na? Kotorongong hapo no nna ona mo ba dlale dikarato mo no tlhapa meno mo no opela and then you must relieve yourself wa bona. And I mean that privacy na go re no be le shitinyana ra laka ka dithapo ka mola. Sometimes you know, the awful smell na go ngwe di blockile na go ngwe di so ne ke itse go that back of the storeroom no na le this toilet mar ke di officers mar because ke khonotsa ma through lo ke fitlhe go yona when if you go no fit like it's any pila. I remember I was working with another guy from Malawi. He ling gatela and kere chief aske bang kraga. I don't worry, I'll sit outside. Hera ka mola no na that thing ele spray ele plants. Come on that and onna mo pisa nempila etsweu. And then in a box of flash and mo no bisa double plier.
Yes.
Go ends impila fe sa mo lo tlapa mantso ha o pila. Or le lotion mo la o itse and go na uti kutlor ish. Kana le nna ke motho but at least nyana o tshwana wa bona.
So your toilet visits.
Yeah, ele go sectioning ha go sectioning ne ke ntsha metsi fele. Yeah, ne ke no betha 69 nyana.
Ya go sectioning ke cheap. What we see on TV.
Ke cheap, ke still and ele go sectioning ba khona tima mabone ka 10 o'clock tronko ya tima. Go master lokilwe ho robalang.
Yeah.
Mara ne re khono tsia botwa madaisi re ya toilet. Re tswela pele go toilet. Because go toilet hona le sedile le tsenang through passage.
Oh.
Because he ba tima go ntla o titsumela o titimela.
Yeah, of course. Ba timela about yes.
Yes, ne re tsa bote di dice ro bia kana ke le podisa. Mto e forma copy ya o krile go leader sgulu mola di lost road tswile wa betshiyo. Motlo o se ora.
Ole Knoxman.
Yeah, na go ngere are planning are dlaling tutu na ke dlala le wena o dlala le. But no pusha nako. You go now na ntongo ka rengwa hira o ile irang because lo ka ronya kwa hai you are not going home.
That's amazing. We didn't know that part.
No, you are not going home there.
Yeah.
So bano nana ba re wena o na le diarrhea. O kamola o mwana wa tlhapa ke shower ba mba betha di dice and then
in the same room
and they don't mind lo kanka bo kanang okay ba bang ke ntwele ke casino mo le ke afana coach of nna because ba pusha sgwebo batho ba nna borokwa bona
tsantso tsamaise na
ya re khono tlwa ka mola pila mo ska boma tutu ya matsa kana go di tavern di tswallang go ntle le rena re tlha di sport go bona re tlha ka mola it's like motho ka re o nwile nyana le na at least because we tiste sebaka here tsena dongolo mo ya skafole sa o inamela skafole at least wa ituru o lapile o robala.
Wow. Where were you born?
I was born in Hammanskraal. In Temba in particular in a certain section called Leboning.
Okay.
Yeah, in the 80s. I grew up there. I attended school there. I matriculated there. Most of my life was in Hammanskraal.
Hammanskraal, and I want to bring this up now so people are aware of this. When we were growing up, Omams.
Yes.
As you know, people from Mamelodi, Atteridgeville, Soshanguve,
Hammanskraal. Yes.
Ku tropo.
Pistorius, yes.
Get gas.
Yeah, but gas.
Semi
BG's snappers.
There you go. Semi-max, all of that.
Yes.
We could always identify, and correct me if I'm wrong, we could always identify Menseba Hammanskraal. Do you know Kang? You tell me. Come on.
Why?
Ana line. How clear? Ana line brow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, Eriku, let me take you through segments Hammanskraal.
No, and brow now.
Yes.
If indeed there's something like that.
Look. But Hammanskraal, I was in Temba. Temba, it was a township. Yeah, the Buputazwana government.
Yeah.
Including Leboning as well.
Yeah.
So right now we had, I think even in the 80s, we had tar roads, we had that. So most of the people who were like from Hammanskraal, nkarona meno di raste a umdeba ke batho ba ne ba nna go diplekeng tsa o tshwana le bo Surumane Majaneng kwa o ne le like di it was not even a semi rural ne ke batho ba go khoshing
ke
batho ba ntse ba ne ba nna ba reporta go Moshate so rena we never had Moshate rena ne rena le bili ya metsi
le
patela mabone
le tshwana le batho ba mabopane
yes re tshwana le bona but you know what, let us say thanks to after 1994 because most of bona tlhabolo intshile bona ba igrele we are almost the same.
No, now
Hammanskraal ke ntho one and Hammanskraal is so big,
yeah,
it's so big today.
But Tabeameno, am I wrong in saying there was that because you were closer to it?
No, even in school, most of the people that I attended with and they're not a low batswenya. Sometimes una boss plus
because you could see that.
Yes, because never know me a bohodu. So glena komparana le tswa ile linshi ana le mom you've got a memory o kana pantsata ma brown.
Do you know why it matters now?
Yes,
because it tells you how long a water issue has been a problem ko Hammanskraal.
Yes.
It's not a new problem at all.
For sure.
It may have been different then.
Yes.
But the problem has always been
there was
part.
a challenge.
And there's always a challenge.
Yes.
So when people talk about Hammanskraal water problems, it's almost like it's a new problem.
Yes.
It dates back many years ago.
No, there were some areas no tap water. Sometimes no le pompe one ya masipala whereby ba follow it runs dry ba fa preference those who are paying rent and no le dilori tsa metsi
none of that.
Yeah, so batho ba ntshibile pile fele ne bana le boholu
sure
dipetse ba ne ba tsoka dikribane ba bang ba le they are our relatives because in Lebanon I'm not staying far from Majaning. It's a walking distance. Like I've got relatives in Majaning. They could have host name is never
from you.
Then
yes.
And now my father had this Veniki my Chevrolet. And I couldn't tell my siblings, my brothers, over deliver. Yes.
As a young boy, what type of life did you see for yourself?
You know, the Vanagino who's just like. Let me just give you a brief history about my parents. Now I've been born from senior parents. My mother gave birth to me. I think she was in her 40s. I think 42. Hungry or hung-conceived. And my father was in his 60s. And almost late 60s. So never to never papa ka ba re ntate moholo wa ka. And officially heta hampi la thing. But ntate moholo o shule wa feta. One this goes your grandpa there. And I knew that he was my father. So ke tlhamba tsweding ba baholo ke last bono ya almost malapa mabedi because my father had the first family ke na le siblings tse kholo happen I've got siblings ba belong they are pensioners
sure
ke bo my father was born 1918 by the way my father ne le Thaka Mandela so ke na le siblings abuta ka like mo pensioning ke mkhala ba thwetswe and I don't nkare papa ke abuti le ena le zompisa bafo wa bona so ke tla from family so and then ke na le ba usaka ke ba baholo ba hola mindende so now I'm in the second family after their mother passed on then my father took ukopanele mamaka they met in Valmanstal during those times so I think my father was maybe 23 years or 25 years older than my mother.
And decided...
Yeah, amar atetopela lingong. Wabona iswarela libengane. So ke ho tla rena the second family. Even last bono ke nna makarikla o mafello bona.
Is there a gap between you and the one that comes before you?
It's not that gap. The one that comes before me is my sister, the one that I'm here with on the studio.
Okay. Oh, immediately.
Yeah, it's immediately after ena hutlile.
And she's still relatively young.
Yes, unchiaga 4 years.
Yeah.
And then a sister before yena. Unchia naka 6 years because ushia yena 2 years. Bona they grew up together.
Yes.
And kebanyana bali 2. And then there is this big gap between me and my brother.
Yes.
So my brother first bona mamaka. Umfetaka 15 years.
Whoa!
So he stays somewhere in the Mabopane area. Ke Grootman, Mara, ke abuti.
Of course.
But you know what, Mdeva, we are only young but when we grow up, as a brother, I've got that respect for him. And he's my brother, you know. He has been taking care of me ever since I was young until even today.
Yeah.
Like,
he still sees you as Ntwana.
Yeah, if fella libyalo and utswafalo driver. And I'm saying this or le na khona ha bona the spot alor utswafo driver. Phela ntsare go sometimes wang abuse tshwantse ke mo driver.
No, go godile.
Yeah, tshwantse fete ke mo driver ke mise kae ka ro trust na driving ya.
Ai wa juta.
One juta. Pila. So that is how so nane ke le moshimane pila mo hara 2 girls.
Yeah.
So most of the game ile re dlala nentse ke dlala le bana ba banyana ke dlala ba usaka. Gran ropa ntshwaritse le gusha so iskale tshwantse o tsene na reno lapile. Kwa o tla le ya kwa la ho ira le se ana khale bang user. Iskalo ya kwa lo ba o tlapile go re nontse hona so. But nako we were a demarcated family. My father never wanted us to go outside the yard.
Okay.
Ne re phela ka mjarateng. Pila these traits they only escalated after his passing. Yeah, my father passed when I was 11, I think, during that time.
Okay.
So naga 12 years.
Because you are free.
Yeah, I was selling. Ka 12 years na kuka boto ya mangina, di roll ono, di necklace tsa go maraba starter, wa bona di paper bag.
Where did you get that? That attitude your pais?
I've been close with my mother. You know, my father left us in a very highly poverty state, to be fair and honest. Yeah, we were not that family. Korna pila mostly in Livoning, in our section. We were one of those families, still as our bakare, umufe skipa sahay or mutlulele ndiapa. And then my mother had some other parents as well around. Bani kiturba was Italian, and I konozwa ugraretlets like bupi. Wabono di eyena tsepidura tlorapiela. Mara only specific people around. But I'm from humble beginnings. Now I've never zange bandekela BMX.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, na neki no ropa ka dikhango zele dikhango wirela jugu an kadima ka reila nya. Then fetsa ka fa BMX.
What you get koning o?
Yeah, ka jiga koning ka bo. I remember ngile ka bula cinema ko hai after ka bula cinema ko go nya dikhu ya khale ka bya khetse white ya bupi le keres. Ka bo fela me popela masole so ka ba patise dithubo. O ka ba kile bicycle.
Kale marona da nyugu man.
No, yeah.
Enterprise, business.
Na netse ke le motho business enterprise.
Kalonzo regisa.
Yeah, bo tebo shakwane, bo thapelo mawasha, bo France Morodi. Na ke hotel ko genge o tlhale boning ela ka tshugule. People they still say mar Dumisani wena mara. That is why when I was in prison, many people would others they cried to Dumisani in prison mar. Fan serious. Especially my neighbors. Remember, you were arrested in the line of duty. Nobody expects to run to see. They see you as their protector. You belong at some point, but proud of one uniform, molo, statile polo, ubile gane moya na shift team. What's an watching manaka? Lebona ba safe for banal police around. Yeah,
but I'm still curious to know what was inspiring the attitude of making money as a young man. And I'm asking this because instead of selling, I opted to find a job around the same age.
Yes.
And I remember what inspired me, but I'm curious to know what inspired you thinking, Ergo Panda. You say poverty was a problem.
Yes, but now also the biggest influence was my mother.
Yeah.
You know, my mother was a dressmaker.
Okay.
I'm from a Catholic family. So bombe ba banji di phika tsa bo di sene ene bo di watwa ne ba rokela ke mmaka.
Wow.
So through the little that she made during that time, it is only my mother who was affording like to pay us for a school trip ukona di zoo. Awanyakela mo fa ba irelele dombolo lo ena paketa December. Ba di yoga tsepedi ma that evening ke diarrhea because mala a di tloela le banana yana wana moli di wa bona. So it was my mother who inspired me because after that there was like more we must make a plan. Now my mother was brave enough, and let me just say it even on this podcast that my mother stayed with us until her last day. Azangar kela rangwana bana.
Nothing.
Tsela tsa re ba re ke tlisa rangwane bana sa le ba banyane no. Na my mother o tsere everybody a re lokela mo phuking a nna so le rena. Ra ba vulnerable ba botse. So my mother nana le this thing towards me ya hore I won't handle her very soft. Ne ke na le ditshele tse dintšha tsa lasbon wa bona. Even at the later stage ke ntse ke hudile ke re ya gona bana wena go wa hetse ntlo ang go nkhuza ang go bolela go iretse. So I remember at some point that ngwana ka no ba tlo re kireng, do you want me to sell you to your enemies now? Ke re wena no nka hetse ntlo mpa tšhelete o re irang wa bona. So I grew up close to my mother. So my mother ka tsama on stokela because ke tumile ke rekisa somebody no na le bona nderi bo brasali ba ne ba rekisa go di femeng tsa babele ba le used to be it used to be an economic hub. I remember there were buses, you know, ba bang ba train ko ke kana ba tla me berekong like the factory tsela ne di le busy, to be fair and honest. So na ne ke itse ke tsana madiso middle school re he ba re ke general cleaning Friday ke jumper fence he ba ira di stupu na ke lata stoko ke tsela a certain bridge ne ba bitsa temeteme. Then ke tla mo lona mokekolo mong ka ne ba re ke mamanganyo some re ke se di veg a bolela Setsonga a nrata ba ke tla re wana tata no to tsamala a nyaka ke rekise mol a go ba this adults ba ba mphetang because ne ke lo munyane a bona ana ka thoma ke rekisa motho le yena mola mangena mola di roll on batho ba di bese mola. Then Saturday the following day my mother would borrow a ticket from somebody or anamele ka cash just there by the stop sign. Anamela mara ba start and latele stoko sa next week.
Jeez.
So I start like that. Look, school my sisters as well. Never said this to be some classing. Korkopola, hey, you know, during that education system, bare schools di chill. Ogre hunsi wa class to class, but or examas weeds. But I'm a lot in a school. nna ne re wela mo platformong yona eo.
Because ke lona tlatsa sekolo
ya gona le bo bonza ba diviana yena a justify rone yena tsa ke diviana fela o di tlhaba ka foroka o feso yena ka stop ya bona
ne di bombi
ya bo bonza the late bonza fanongobeni may his soul rest in peace that bra o mona beta bobcat o ka re shaba reng so e kima ya so ile bona ko madisong ka mola ba handlela nna le yona ke tshwere stock sa ka sa di bonanzanyana le di so now we are from there we are from that environment.
So wena maswitsa khalo itse bo di Jackson 5
ya Jackson 5 e bona di bonanza o na la mang ba re ke di toffisi
wena wa itse
na rekisitse maswitsa ale mdeva. Yeah, then it was during my schooling years until then, and even finished matric in 1997.
Yeah,
but after the matric, you know, na ko high, my mother struggled a lot. Uthumile ka my sister because my other brother na rankuwa.
Yes.
Ko kwa ka.
Ya
umkhulu ya ko hatladi na rankuwa, but he was the first one o lena nantse a lenda a hand on assisting my mother on raising us.
Yeah.
Because ne ritura with mafela khwedi wetla. Wa bona? Ha tlile o tla tshia mmaka ka something yana ka da wa bona. I remember re ketse mama diraka tse dintse yelo so. Tsa ko present price. It's a cheap, yeah. Tsa Lily Made Kitchens. Ha di tlisitse am reketse Steve Sne Mandela a jwa trongo nga re blokela mabone. A do mo rekela le fridge ko ha. Fridge la ke bula ke no bona dlope le tshumile so ke re go rena le fridge ko.
Go sna ne.
Ya go sna ne smart ke rena le fridge. So ne le mmereko go re phele rozola re fila
pa.
And la go le tse ke tshwere stokonyana mola. Ne ke itse mo go reka marapo no na le butchereng ba ke rata nama. Marapa 20 rand ne le khetse ka re fla ra divide. I want bones, just bones. Ya tla last ra khabela mo and then ra. And during that time my sister was in tertiary na le go Marapiani College. I era teaching. Maka motsentsha ka chelta o ruka. And I remember, I think ilana rese maresa senil cheleta or au hira ron Marapiani College. No it was only Moretele College and Marapiani College during that time.
Yeah.
It's the teachers college because even teaching nearly like an obvious career.
Of course.
For most of the people.
Yeah.
Marana, au saka na ra tlile hae ne ke kono go tlatsa ka pocket money na ke tlo rekisa.
From selling.
Yeah. From lotsa ke na ke tlatsa mola re pecha ya school until she graduated
and finished and became a teacher.
Yes, and
then she could help.
Yes, and after she was a teacher, even her first job as a teacher, akratsela tse di abete tsela. So on that school tse di abete nena go mba patisa ba sa ba patela mara I remember her first pay a re rwala ba botle state theater se la ke re follow ha rena mo state theater mo ka reka di sandals tse dintse di handmade and
kana ba ira di open market
stolo da yes sa ndakela shooting ya phenduka mo ke bithile sandals tsa ka le skipper se seng se se phepholo nga se slebale ne ke tsone pa tsa ka tsa sonta ya ne ke sonta beno nka paratse ya phenduka bethile ka phenduka o feletse me bara o ikutla o le clever mpona metso sporo ba lo
next week wena phenduka
ha pushana shana ka
yes. So your beginnings were quite tricky.
Yeah, they were quite tricky. Like they've pushed me to be creative.
Yeah.
They pushed me to be creative. Either way around, I had to survive.
Of course. So could you go to school? Did you go to school beyond matric?
Me at my home, I'm the only one without a tertiary qualification.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the only one. After finishing my matric in 97, ke ntse mo hae ka 98. Now ke tlo botsa go tlile bang ebe ke kry my first job. Hence ke le mo hae ke mahlalela re mo hae, you know, just hanging around the township a obereki sekolo so dampile. This is your matric certificate. Whether you qualify mara ona chelta o register ra. So my sister nna la account go ele rents. And I account like snarekile di sofa, I think so. The sofa it was the first set di sofa go hae. Ko ne re phela re di brush le that velvet la re mo ona di sofa. O phela ntse o di tlwaela. Tsa kota ka mo tsa velvet tsa sponge se ya ba di delivery le rinse fele ska venele telle. So a kolota ka 3 months ba re batlo di repossess 4 months because ba sa ba patele.
So abeta
ya patela. A tshware ke stress. So somehow I don't know where did she get that idea hore it was round about bo May so ka motse ka rena ke nyaka license go rile di taxi.
Okay,
wa bona a re shab ke tlo zama ska wara go patella go ngwana mo hu driving school o ira learners ka re learners ka engwala nna ne re engwala pila ka stencil ba re makela ka stencil
ya kwela ne ngwadi wa sharp
ya stencil ile o no tlo ropa
mo
he ba tlosa mola ba calculator ba score fetsa ba re tsamotsa tshwantsho ka ba ke tshwere learners. After learners a hola ha one has na hola one ka re nna ke dipaleng ka dipaleng ile somewhere ka June. Immediately after go dipaleng ka June ba etla ba tlosa ka account ya hae nna ke tshwere license ke ntse mo hae so wa tsena as another brother ke stranger ngobeni he was still using ngobeni as a surname. I'll never forget stranger a tsena mo a wala ka di a di o sa khanda ta pati mo ape mo to itse ya di dotse ke ntse le chomi ya ke mo ba re ke Steve Madiba re ka mtla sa stlare ke re ish a ro sa mothusi when ke re ish nang na spane me primary kana license a rona license ke re ha kana license a the one ba ya ka shop assistant go di ta man skala da a e ya ona ba no fitlo nya ka Victor se ya heng ke re hona ba no a re mma se ke shalla go pela turanta taxi ne le turanta ne le local
yes
a da o itse makampa na same time a re vai ya ona fitlo nya ka Victor da a bonya ka David na ka fitla kwa le maka re turanta da a shile etla taxi bile ile ke sa tlhapa sekono nyane ke no itse burukhunyana bo mfela ka no re ka re license ele he ke fitla ke kra le re ba tswalla shop he ke kra mo ke bona ne tupu mo ditedi mo o ka re bo you still remember ba ke Thompatswe o la naira di advert ola
o dutse mo naira tsela tsa
ya o la Ellerins it is easier ya dai brana le so wa ditedi so mpa ke Bravik ke mo kra
there is a line reach
tsala wa di bona ke mo kra khiela da he fitla ka dumelang ke lantate sa heng a re sho ba fana nka o thusa kang ka re kutla ba rona le mmereko mo leding a re mono lo munyane so I think I was 19 one ara man fana wena o just no gala man mara tla tlo mpona ka o sane furu ka re promise that is a promise ha re furu ka o sane kana ke na shelter o boela morago wa tswalla shopping ga se musu kupela lifira a wana ke bethile ka loto from station en ka o tsena hae
a ona planning
ka betha ka re 101 pile ro skebe ka e fella pelo before tona bo di portion 9 tse la le di ka ona mela le bridge le la and then ka ikela hae tsena mola mauta botluka tlhapa ke re ba re ke bo hape ka boshivu magarape no tlo fisa chelta ka ene ngwela hani ke se ka last rand ya ka o sana ba ona ya o
o tla bo hape ka mau
yes gore ke tswile ka bo ma 5:30 gore ma 6:10 nane ke le ko Kopanong shopping center ke ntse mo bankeng ya Chipiso
ba bula ka 8
ke lebane le le rentsi ya bet 6:30 ya 7 ila ke Philippine di 7:30 ku tla molodu a tlhashikina di khiaso he ke re eban kwa eno la mabane dai to puitsa ntebella ka mkhung koro nane ke nka mmutsa ile she is still alive today or mara what is it that he saw that day mara that old man you know antebella actually la shop antshwarisa beke so o actually la da ar tsena ka tsena mpia mo dandung sutu engwe so bona tseltsa ile rintsitsela ke tulo tse 3 kam mo ke cyborg ya ba bile dimpyanyana tsela tsa khabisa tsela le ka nna so mo yona da he ke ntsemola di staff member di thomo tsena one by one so all the staff members are starting to come in
one at a time why no supplement
na ke ntse ba tsena mo skalo tsena le kwaleng la lefatla so ka briefcase ya di lawyer ai banna kwa le go tafoleng nobody is attending me iskalo la machine wa huviwa go busy ka mola di customer le tsama di yo patela ke ntse so di mano ka bo ma 9:00 then he came to me Mr. Saheng bona bafana o tlo bona ke area manager o le bitso la ke mori ke mori Zenado a ro tlo bona mola o ti yo motsene to ska tsaba sku itse sku wa ke kutla ka yes tla mola fitla re mshimanyana how are you you know he was a Portuguese guy I think so ra mshimanyana you fine how old are you get 19 are you speak English yes I can speak English say magense ke re sir no bon erke your license is still new when who are you staying with God, my father has passed on. My father has passed on. Yeah, I want to buy the emotions. My father has passed on. I'm only staying with my mother. And then my sister is not waking, but everybody. Kormole people ke krile mmereko at a mesi fela no ra marmo a re ha o hele ngwana mo le re kare wa itse ka mola no tsena mataima ka di CV tse kana ba tlhako bo wonder finisher se bo Joshua dog because Ellerins ne patela go feta most of the furniture shop. I'll even tell you my first salary in 1999 we compare until today hore na sa ra tshwarentsa ka re sa le ba fa
no lesenga o krile bokae jo
2,650 rand ka 1999 and bampatela ka check before lu selo tsa ka tsa bank ba re go e cash up ka mo shopong go dimo go cashing ke balla ke ane barabar ke solira phiri the horse wa dingana swara ta bolelwele a tshomfana gore ke nka ke ho ka cash wenza so ke di 50-50 ka ka ho ilukile engwe le ka nla ikipa itsweni na zanga tshwara tšhelete sone
inela matho
are 2,600 everly 50 rand la so ka ra ona direkere nyana mo o tla tsama go toilet kwa lo sukunyetsa ampa direkere kara ke thomo apa beno nna ke location beno
o sukunyetsa ka bopene
ya he ke tsa lokela tsotletsela mo dijoking ke mo bono beno mo o itse ke ka engwe ka e byanyana mo plus anke re ne ile mo July August nyana so he chaisa
go fifetse
SS ka kopela phone
yeah
no na le phone tse ba ke di Siemens I think my sister na le phone ya he ke mo founela ka re kopela le tlo nlata ke hodide para re kopaneng ka mo spa ka mo re tswile ka torol tse pedi so gore o itse re fola taxi pele ne ba itse rena ka special da
no le singa
gwa tsewa na mengwe tša tšile la go shanelo di toilet gore gwa tsewa gore mona no bona re tlale wile bano ke tsaba re tlala o nyile ya mara mola ne le tlala o nyile straight grocery ya tsena beno freeze tsela di pakilwe pila bano ke ntse so ka o sane ka ya go webase ka re konya ka maruko a mmereko ka ne ke beletsa boruko everyday ke ne go ka tlhatswa mantsi bana ka trika then ba ntletsa uniform ile rentsi le name badge wa bona ile ba brisa that other middle name ya ka sa use thata that name ile ona man Solomon
Solomon was a wise man in the Bible
Solomon mo la kire ba ka tomo dasta ka mo shopong well na mo la ka mkhone ke nya go make sure ka teng ndeva wa bona tswana le di trimming tsa this carpet go ne ke di go tla ka stilulu gore shopela sale ya nna kun
Spanish sounding what did they
I was a shop assistant. The shop assistant actually like you are a general worker.
Okay.
They send you to post office, they send you to the bank, they send you bar. In the absence of a driver, you can relieve a driver.
Okay.
O kono fitla lo ena o start then who deliver we. Ya ke berka le class le Mishaka I think he passed on me he sold the steel piece le bra class maswanganye and ile go brass have not what ke le mfana blind stock leke ile Philip Raseala
Jesus
yeah Toshman o teng go G4 go Q4 garage Toshman la seala a tsena re to tsama ka mahetla so ara and the part time Philip na berga mushari the part time hell the weekend I berga mushari
na bolo
yes and ile na stock leke da
yeah
kurana go ke fitlela ke motlisetse like a cup of tea ne ke ra le tea for babere ke re 11 o'clock ke tloka 3 ke fa mo monte ha o ka rutlile maburu a ira so o thomo polisa suru krara desnia seikere so man we bolela ka suru maburu al auto re desnia seikere na go ba fedile fa ntse yane le ene o nya go tshea what is that a sentwe a ta bo boso so a henge mo stilong and yeah man o thomo bolela suru tletle ba utlwa bona no desnia seikere o sgani so vergni a bitla sentwe la tse stock living mall are stock taking so ira stock taking
I like him
yes so ira stock taking na ke namela modima mempetolo go storeroom ke a motsa ke re BM192 ke product code e be ke re 223 check 1 yena wati check 2 candidate guy unruta ba la stock unruta every day bana ha sa ira le bo class le bo misha go sira le nna ha fetsa mo moriantsa visita mola I think the other time o krea the sales advisor na re hodile re chaisitse mara ile month and shop e butse ebe ho tsena the walk in customers na ka ipeta sebedi ka dumedisa mmeng wa nurse I remember ke le ka mama re teng bathong e shwetse nya ka room divider bathong nkara o etlankele bontsensona a ke re tlhale ke ba bona hore ba ka mtsa di flat mola ka re le mo special ngashi ile ngetsa mal coffee table kante na go the manager o ntse so le area manager ba ira di figures tsa month end na ka fetsa ka customer la a re no ke 400 deposit leading ana ka shena gore ba ro ba 400 rand o itse fitla brevita re motla le customer order o tse di phone number and then we will see ka osane ke the manager bona a konka di sales person tsa hae the jetswe hae e shop assistant we really sale mabaniso I didn't tell you it's a shop sale ya motho
Jesus
ke tsene ka July ke
August sale commission so
I ke shop ke tsene ka July August September baha another branch ba reng ke Town Talk it was part of Ellerin
I remember Town Talk logo ya
le mothola lino le one yes then go Town Talk hona le manager o mpya stock tla ka se sempya everything empya there ke mo re mpitsa bano ke le ka mantwela a re look do you know how to use a computer I don't know if it's this is a logging and local inga logging ya hai arabona nna logging ya ka ke AM what hero ke area manager and then ya branch manager ke BM and then ya stock la ka ke SC wa bona sales advisor ke advisor sales o ka nne le AC nya no discuss one a fitlha nruta mola tsa invoice kore a bugula stock out a ke rona o khona le power save tsa RCZ a mpontsha re compare le invoice o di a tshwana na gore se ke ba tswa credit note go kana le credit note that thing it's a complaint because creditors has once patel the supplier o tlonsa credit note and tshwantse solve ne le nomoro in it's a procedure and le stock adjustment the price we affect
di tshwantse di balance
nruta ka tsena mola morizana to ka re tlhatlha ha fitla mo le botsa vita motho o tshwarela ka pelo I ba bula town to I was promoted ka after 3 months ke fietse fela for 3 months after 3 months ke tswere desk ba nong computer ka ke bo feel it again so but when ke bereka le bona ba le ke ba create kwa ba shia kwa
wa ba tlelentse ba le dawa
ba laisha ba sa koropa kwa le nna ba nong
ba bala store
ka change lembe ka ba re ya town to ko
ba re di say ke ri
wona ke ntse so ba nong ke re so o ka phone ya ka stock ena Philip re mon o mfe contest ke na le custom ke rakna yona a re ka bona na le tse 2 ke na ke ndi ke mo drop wa bona yes mara dlala fela I respect him so much nentse re no ba re di chomi no bad blood between us
wow man
so the very same people ba tumile le bona ne ba tla ba tlo laisha ke ba laishisa ke re no laishitseng e tsembe mo
custom movile fast how did they take it though didn't they ntwani
na ba tumile le ke tsana ke ra wa sang ne ke na 19 years nentse ke feta na go ngwe scam betsa mo mergo o kra ba re child labor wa bona na ke ya ke ba damotla re re ba re ka le bana yo wa bona motantse a re tlo tsofala ta tsa di go sekolong and officially it was true when I was a shop assistant I remember the bus rank ele kwa Manskrala most of my peer group but when I tsena le bona go PHL moraka hae le ba tlamona ba tlhako bo di TUT ba tla tekisi wa bona ba feta and I never felt ashamed about myself le ba ngara ka pero overall le furniture la jo ya mama ba tla ntumitso spana ka me bra ne sharp you know. Other people won't even say that when I was in Narco school when there was never that competition. Never accepted myself anyway.
Situations
yes, man next how balam deva. Ke September, October, November, but assistant manager's course.
So within 6 months?
Yes, there was the other guy, O'Neill, assistant manager at that branch, is my friend. May his soul rest in peace, Mpoma Tibe, the late Mpoma Tibe from Mabopane. I think Barry he was going to be transferred back to Pretoria. So there was a position assistant manager. Peter Bayless. Yeah, he was an Irish guy, Irish and Africans. I fit assistant manager's course January.
Yeah.
Now I fit my month and February congratulations. So pay ka kene ilong go fe di pay tsa ka pay ka ne 2.6 as super assistant.
First one.
Ka September ka hola 7,000.
When almost life how changing.
Yeah, ka 3 months within ka hola 7,000. So benong
o hola ba fela twa ya sekolo.
Yeah, benong nna e re go tlhalosetse. Itse he ba yo re assistant manager. I think I was getting 9.5.
Just
because bare tshwantse ke fetse manager's course of pay and then if there is a branch bang appointile in 2001 Mr. Peter Musehle, the manager by then wa Ellerin standby pensioning. They gave me that branch with a 14,500 salary.
This is how many years? 2-3 years?
Yes, after that 2.5 years.
Yeah.
So na ke tswere 14.5 ke tswere vene ke ka ona hae bana as a manager. Just like other managers ke meeting wa region go fita go tselo tsela he ba tsena furu ba khulela ke nna shop so.
But bro, you were still in your early 20s.
Early nna tumlo bereka ka sale mfana nna. Kale ke bereka bona people that are going to watch this podcast knowing me but Lord we know him.
Yes.
Or me santsane lo mokana kale ke bereka at 21 I was a branch manager.
Just
ka bereka as a branch manager mo bianong we gonna approach that chapter how did I land into the government.
Yeah, because I look at your life.
Yes.
You know, because we started working around the same time.
Yes.
But I came carrying a degree.
Yes.
I earned nothing close to what you were earning. It took me a very long time.
I will believe you, David. Let me tell you something. Na pay ya ne if I'm a teacher.
Yes.
As a branch manager.
That's it.
Ne if it government if it and can 13th check.
Ultra fair.
And can 13th check, even 13th check I think we learn sin ba di bereka ka like we had one bonus ba botlhe. O ka re ka ya somewhere during December.
Okay,
so
yes.
yeah, ke 13th check mo. That is where I started the responsibility of starting building a house ko high.
Yeah.
Ka credit house planets ka ho draw di sketch ba yo passisa. Then I wanted to make sure that my mother with her own main bedroom, and her own toilet, her own bathroom.
Yes.
Very private. Mempeto itu negra ka di staff price.
Yeah, we no sha.
Go ntlo thomo bona before tlo tsena di plasmas re ka mekhoko 74 cm.
Wa itse
Wa bone ko ya
Yes,
sgubuzela
go morao.
di plasma di tsene re ntse re di manager.
Yes.
Wa bona ha thomo le bediwa plasma ko hae bophelo ba loka, and otherwise even my other sisters as well, the other one o ke mo latellang lena during that particular time ke na kwa fetsa her qualification in journalism. Marena me mereko ile scarce thata for in journalism. A bereka ko o berekile di media house tse different man kile at some point a boa almost 5 to go GCIS.
Okay.
Nearly it was an internship during that time, so ne re thusa na ka loyana tse dintsi ka mo hae as well. So my brother now in Garankuwa was a little bit relieved.
Okay, gore
ne se tlhwatlha
gore go shapo da
di shapo wa bona ke fela ke mo etela the baka go shapo ka magogo na no tla fela because of utlhulele le mama hae, not because he's there to help or bring something.
o bile go rotman ka pele
na ke thomile na ke motho no nna mkhala bidisa re say wa bona
o le 21
ya ke le 21 na mo ne se ke tshwara di khakira. Well, hefetsa ka thoma beno hore I had an experience and I was young. Do you know many even opposition companies, they were looking for me. I was like, motarabona man. Louis Group in ya le the companies di ba nyako mfa something more, wa bona?
Yes.
Well, along the line ya mmereko aka man, finally this thing ela o itse nako after this thing ya hence dilo di change until today. All the furniture shops have vanished. Gore di have just perished. Adisalten, they are nowhere to be found. Ke na go thomo tsena di Chinese market.
Okay.
Tsalo tsa assembly was tulo ba spaka ona ba no ba irang this and that. So I remember vampire better offer at Louis.
Was your shop performing well?
It was performing well. It was performing well, but until there was another manager never kitina stalls. Branch ha ne sa proving pil ba nya go etswalla mara khutsi hore o ka re tseletsa first in last out. So yana go hana le a certain technicality ya hore no nna ke e ko toropong ko bereka go Andres.
Yes.
Ko bereka le the late Daniel Maviletsa. Ya me he so rest in peace as well. Na batho ba botle ba kupetseng bona ba sa le teng. Nna ne ke le mfana brother no matsa maka Skylines ba re ke BBZ o di tedi so. Ya arzuzu are le automatic fela. Ka tsa maka spana le ena so nna le ena we never had a good relationship. Ke re ya spana bon ma re boledisana pila le ding until ke kra offer go Louis.
Okay.
I went to Louis and became a
what were like
and became a manager again. Ka go Louis ya go Mabopane. Mara go Mabopane bara bana position manager. Ban thoma ka mo credit. Ke tsene ka ane a utho mo bare ke Theo Dikhali was a former Ellerins manager. Ra mo tlo nne 2 months go ruta fela di account le ding. Ska wara se tlo bula mo. Ene sa bula ka nnete bare branch manager. Ka o manager go Mabopane go Central City. Mo ne ke na le 22 23 bjano wa bona.
Yeah,
until chachile lembianong I started becoming tired of the retailing environment. Remember Merokola as a manager we work from Monday to Sunday. Somehow even during the weekends you're no longer having that opportunity to sit around your peer group only the friends na go le no jola nyana we rang we no phela le responsibility tsa shop we le meeting head office skale le ka lo tswala di figures le so I was tired pila. So one of the customers, because now he was in government, he was at the position of a superintendent. He was a customer ya go Louis. I cannot say his name because he's still in service even now. At Atoroka cash, I think it was a 20,000 deal. Come for discounting with Pilam. Man. Superintendent, can you please sponsor government? How can per capita solo manager no namo I'm tired. Obviously there's a general perception that government ngo bereki.
No.
Ko le tsena 4 days or over 4 days. O ka no offer medical wire high o ka na after 2 months. Wa re no lapile wa bona lotso so. Na pie pelo go spoliseng ke tsene ke tlilo ikutsa. To be fair and honest, it was never calling.
It was none of that.
I don't want to lie to people. Look at it was is that like through my charisma now I easily adjust and like things easily. And ke kono bona an opportunity even where there is no opportunity ke create. Wa mothola bona una phuseng ditwile fana ngwala nyana ka pele patla go founela I was phoned by that like bare wa shana wena ka date so go Pitura North.
Khona le
selection. And I was big young. I won. Kaki sprinting barai Oceana 800 meters within 2 minutes 45 seconds.
So that ain't getting it today.
Hey,
na ushiana di
yeah, Oceana. Na ke tsene kwa la ka Oceana.
tshwanetse ke practice gore ke kgona ushiana sepodisa na.
Yeah, mara sa ona ba nong skena no se degrade compared to the past.
Yeah.
In the past they hape sepodisa ne se dilo tsa like and nkareng ne se di projects tsa o relieve unemployment.
Yes,
na ile calling hape sepodisa
Yeah.
batho ne ba sa nya go ya.
No.
Ka lebileng le ba re ba ira di selection. Nobody will go. They will
Yeah.
announce but hey, tsamang di form di tsela ona le motho di nyakang. So mar now as the population ya hola, the opportunities ya fela, and no wonder why much journal the incident tse dintsi tsa police because it was just to be employed.
Like you.
Yeah, no, like
You're
me
a perfect
as well.
example.
Yes,
of
I'm
that.
a perfect
Yeah.
example of that. Anaka ushiana ba re ka sana ngwala the aptitude test.
O kgona ushiana.
Ke shianile
What is
ke
those?
qualify ile ka tsena ka 2 minutes 39 ka re ke 2 seconds e ya kilometer. Kopola ane brafan me nga se mmolele ka lebitse mthonana lebelo yo. Wes itse ba tsena kwa lene ba re ara pu e ba thopa pata matso ko le shana go ground yo go Pistorius West.
Yes.
Mfano la shana ke meet from skolong. O ka re deadline o ishenne o ka re ka ma 52 seconds. Ke se sa feditse 800 meters. Gore ke a fitla daba ngwadisa mo le kere ha o ba motse yao. Na re no qualify ile fela ke thuse gore ngwana mong o ile because ne re shana banyana le bashimane ka nako one. Ngwana mo khupar ka motsela ka no re ka mo kharitlhella. Na ka tsena go finish line ba kwalla ka nna. Ya ke thuse kwa weleng ha ba kwalla ka nna ba ngwana. Ya ka o sandra ngwala psychometric test. You know, psychometric test is so tricky because in a lot of personality profiling, in a lot of mathematics, how you see figures, your reading skill, your spelling, lots of sober test on. And it's so tricky sometimes, but we fail, and that is why I realized when a lot of phasing.
Yeah.
Naki passes the show. Now, about 200 questions, but we answer within 4 minutes. And you don't need to be thinking about your personality. Ki true, false, sometimes. Yes. Uno feta fail. Yeah. So, question number 1 I steal. I steal. Motor no. But we say other questions. Question number 8. I once stole a pen from a friend in a classroom. Marwana go kwala we say no. Every yes, you contradict. Or I've once tasted what we talk.
Yes. Yeah,
now keep I still got yes. I once told it yes. Then we were recruited. We went to the college in 2004.
The nature of a police college. How long is the course?
The course during that time it was 6 months basic training. Basic training in terms of they teach you the basics of the policing.
Okay.
Like you must comply with their disciplinary code, physical training, academics, drill, got everything for you to look like a policeman. Then after there is a further training outside the basic training at the college. Leona, it takes 6 months.
Okay.
Maybe it's a FTO, field training.
Yeah.
You like they orientate you at the police station level.
Okay.
Go wala SAP 12 for dogete, o tsa di full scape, wa tla tsang affidavit wa certifier, all those
of that,
nitty-gritties, yes. Ba o ruta tsona tseo at the police station level. Then after, by low poster. After posting you, now you are going to your unit or
in hindsight, when you look back, do you think police training is proper? Those 6 months. When you look at them, do you think South African police are trained properly to know? Because you have to know the basics of the law, at least.
Yeah, okay. Now, let me just use it basically relating to me.
Of course.
Or to our intake.
Yeah.
I can say the structures of the police. Let me tell you something, Mudeva. They are all in order. There, I'll take a hiding for it. SAPS, they've got proper, one of the best trainings ever that they try to provide. I was on Power FM the other time. They were talking about dirty cops invited there on Power Lunch. One of the reasons that I said over the media that I so wish that we can remove politics from police.
Yeah.
We've got the best police service ever in Africa. Actually, that is a competitive police force that we have. So is that, other things, the interference, how things are done, how things are changed. You can even go to the library in Pretoria West College and look at all the intakes that were there. You can see, this is the latest development, was altered or this was changed. Automatically, yes, we've got old modules still at SAP.
Yes.
But we ended up being taught other modules happy. I mean, how to police democratic streets of South Africa. Other than also tonal khale tsa re motho wa mo stopa.
Batla pasa.
Ya wa moraha lo no molumisa ka mpya chabe e fetsa ireng wa bona. So we went through that, and they were properly facilitated.
Yeah.
Mara, I think the engine, it suffers when coming to the recruitment and the quality of the recruitment.
Okay.
Because most of the people, when we join the police today, bar 5,000 posts, real fella for unemployment. So I was a colleague. And most of the people who are passionate about work, they don't make it gas selection.
Sure.
I don't want to tell you lies.
They
don't make it gas selection because some of us yes. And that is why we cannot even carry our positions with both hands because ara sokolla ho di tsena. But somebody was sokotseng arbon khale kenya go nna le police. I remember when I was doing standard 4 le ke tswa ka primary ke leng o tlo tlhompha mmereko ae. And I still believe even today there are still good men and women in blue who have acquired both technical and just a general experience of solving crime in our country, But I know those people are sidelined and they continue to be sidelined because of their political orientation. Who do they belong to? Now I know how the police feel. Nobody will tell me that. You can come in as a brigadier in the police, when you can come in, but whenever you feel this executive post, you are never in the college. Now I was in the college.
So yeah, because there are those who come in politically and they get these high-ranking positions.
Yeah, and those are the ones actually that are a talk shop of the South African Police Service.
And they don't know what really happens on the ground.
No, I'm going to take it both ways. That is why I'm saying that we've got the police that is in order. Is that I think it is time now for our legislature to amend the constitution, especially when coming to the appointment, let me say, starting from a ministerial position. That post, actually, they must follow the very same criteria of a public protector. A person must never be nominated, not even by a state president.
Not be appointed by a president.
Yes, you understand. I think that CV was supposed to be a CV that is open to each and every citizen in South Africa.
Yeah.
They must look at the credentials, the previous training, achievements, all of that. That is why even other racial groups, as we speak, they are leaving the police because of lack of motivation, because there's no longer that reward system in the police based on your work. There are good policemen out there. There are good detectives out there. Detectives that can be transferred into specialized units. But they know that they cannot go there because of who they don't know anybody in those units. They remain leading. Those are clever people. Yes. We've got police who are doing distance learning as we speak.
Yeah.
But graduate each and every. I know some of them, they are my colleagues. They're still my friends. I still speak with them.
Sure.
They are at the level of SIJ. I mean, I'm 43. I'm almost now approaching 50. Or at 50, they'll be rewarded with a warrant office. Then it's pension time.
We'll talk about the ranks, Tamagata.
Yeah.
Now, in a second, I actually want to talk about the drop in your salary from manager to now being a police officer.
Yes, yeah.
Because that must be a huge drop. Actually, not even a police officer, a cadet. Because you're
a student.
A student, yes.
Wow. During our intake, the president was still President Mbeki. It was during that time, President Mbeki, when he said that, I think the stipend for a basic training, it was 3,600 rand.
Yeah, you went back to the beginning.
No, but not even that. President Mbeki, I think they had 2,000 posts. Then President Mbeki came up with a strategy that, look, increase the number of posts and then let's decrease also that 3,600. Now get to me, let's put it like 1,600 for 6 months. But is that I had something that I've saved in my account next hour?
Wait a minute. The drop in salary, didn't that deter you from joining? Because anyone would say,
no, I was tired of the retail.
That much.
Like I wanted, because I knew it already. That 1,600 is for 6 months. After 6 months, I'm going to get now the 3,600 that I was supposed to get on that. And
it's still little compared to 14,000.
Thank you. And you see now the direction that you are taking. You will see. And then after that, 6 months of field training. Now I think it was 4.5.
Yes.
Then you are still in training.
This is 6 months of being a police officer.
Then now when I was appointed as a constable, I think Tina Skalengo, I think it was 7,500. Mara now It is 7,500. It might look small, but to be fair and honest, the benefits were there. At least now, remember, compared to the retailing environment, I was working 12 days a month.
Yeah, but
Yes, I'm getting shifting 4 days in, 4 days off. 4 days in,
yeah, but
4 days off. If you calculate sometimes,
It's still-
not really 8 days, February. But we've got a full month salary.
Salary,
Yes, and what's a leafy? Nan 20 karata leaf yarna. That's why most of our leaves nails say kologos podi say. You take a leaf, 4 days, it equals to 12 days. Leaf ya 4 days, name per 12 days.
yeah.
Ankir shift ya on the last night shift.
Oh, yes.
Ya off ke 4 days.
Then
Kaya ba la ke 4. Nako tsa heba bo shifting a ke bo.
Oh,
Amo leave ke 4. And then heba offer ke offer le bona ha. Ke 4.
Yes.
And then huro ke ntse 12 days mo hae. So now those were the things that I was longing for because
you wanted to rest.
yes, because at some point I even registered for an LLB degree.
While
Yes, with University of South Africa. Wabon?
because you had time.
Yes, I've done the introduction to the theory of law, the interpretation of statutes. But that course collapsed because of banu to be functional. The assignment is morao.
Hey.
Then the world started to be busy for me.
Yeah.
That is where I just left it. Caray.
And studying at UNISA requires a certain level of commitment.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
yeah. It's very different space.
Yeah, I can collect something. An
No,
envelope after hours.
It's no better.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Le envelope ke bona. Ha batla banyana.
I have dilo tse ntšha tla tsa pholo we loketse di subwoofer ko morao weekend lo bina nyana somewhere ne se di nna
Motho a subwoofer ya polo o faila go UNISA.
thank you
Yeah, ne jo faila. That ain't like a discipline. We won.
English.
Don't so walo le one.
enji thata
Ngile ka register, ha bone ki. Ngile ka register ana thing. Ya marketing ai, ka stop, ka re dire ke busy.
ya o betha ne
I am better. Nna ke ipeti.
one or next na ka tswa
Ka re ke busy. And at least ke krile girlfriend ke mo lining ya register. I last the relationship but at least ke
a tswane at least tswile ka something yeah o tswile ka something
Just so Nyundu ya drop Mario fine with it.
no I was fine ne ke na le polmet tape you know, SAPS got one of the best government medical aids ever. That medical aid, my mother was covered, you know, my wife, my children. Even a family member, as long as there is a proof, and another medical so I think I was paying like 200 rand per month.
Sure.
It was a subsidy, straight right
I
away.
wonder if it's still there.
Yeah, it's still there, Paul.
Yes.
But I don't know about the adjustments of benefits and stuff. So that money, hospitalization, that is why both of my children were born in a private hospital. My first son, it was in 2000. I can't pass out because my wife was pregnant during my basic training. And like be the people on like a basic training because our former instructor. Inspector Kampepe during that time arbiano mo ke tlhotlhora peo e bana ke nyaka le dire le bana ruta ura mark time so a re le boa mo lo tsama le shile bana and it happened that way a re mo bana ke a na bua so that's why le qwaqwa yeah a re bona di bontja a re bitsa di ntja bona bontja ba sebetsa bana re sebetsa ntja e sebetsa
o ga o matcha
yeah o matcha ne le drilling strata one of the best those are the people today actually they deserve a handshake from a state president not just a medal or a ribbon. That men have trained generations of the South African Police Service. As I'm speaking now, people will throw even some remarks. Those who are from South African Police Training Institute in Pretoria West. And, yeah, I think he pension. 2 years as a pension, and he continued to be my friend as well.
Amazing.
Even like it's heal.
Incredible, eh?
Yeah.
So now, actually, where were you posted? Which police station are you posted? Immediately when you started working.
Field training.
Yeah.
I was posted at OR Tambo International Airport.
Hey, my brother, why are people busy over Ghana?
Yeah, now actually we were even recruited for it was that time where the World Cup was looming. Remember, the SAPS have to increase their own strength in order to meet some certain requirements. Global security, you know. They needed to see a policeman at each and every saving point.
That's it.
This and that. So now that mass recruitment under the division of PSS, Protection and Security Services.
Okay.
ra tsena re le balo santsane e leader ke the former commissioner Sean Chabalala e le ena na e leader da hawa na ba risa go OR Tambo International Airport
re na lona no re bantse fela bala ba bereke
kwa photo
ke re ba lebeletse re
le a tlha Durban le a Singapore le a China stoko ka ono mo kra reflector e boa mo ba rola pile ile yeah because most of on a crime prevention you know a crime prevention constable ha tshwane le mothaleng static most of di ba bitse di functional members most of a constable wa ilong o bereka go Moroka police station or wa go Alexander or wa City Deep. Let me tell you something. These people, they have been graded differently because of their experience.
Yeah.
Wabon. O wa mutlo o phela na no bullet e tla go morao.
Ba re.
Ya ba le mo strateng. Ba go strateng go monate. Ba flying squad on ile don't even bale that's why la tsena fela o thoma go ngamela bulletproof. Because why once an incident can occur sa ya para even that payout aga secure injury on duty.
Yes.
Wabon. So now we went there and alone e fitla there you know as massive as we were, I remember my friend Andrew Ntagazeni Chililo. We met at the college as well. He's now a director somewhere in the government also. Ke ba fana ba le bane ba tlhaka mo bo Univen ka mo.
Okay.
Anke re college ya Pretoria we se neola they were taking all over the country. Ba tla to Pretoria for training. So he's younger than me. Chilo tsene mo la tshwere
degree
his degree in environmental science.
Yes.
But he was naughty, you know. It was because of naughtiness, you know. Most of the time, even now as we speak, we always relate about our college memories. And he was somebody that with that strong character. You know, when you are bigger than yourself, nothing is big for you.
True.
Not even like na lugo college ma student ama 2000 emona under the directorship ya Stian Nyalungu. Ability dinonga Robert Mugabe. You shall march. Kepisela into soil bushiu. Nasa dlale damano. Stian kor ba hebo like about the career policeman. Ke batho ba itse SAPS tlhaga.
Yeah.
But I think even now currently he didn't go for I think Salva Mtsaba ba mapointa ka motsela tse di RTMC.
Okay.
Ke utlile fela bjalo mar na according to me the discipline of that man. He bar boots on the ground. Those are the members ba ne tshwantsa fihle mo e bar ke crime scene ya Hastings South Africa. Ebe a tshwere the 4 castles and 2 cross swords and so go bolela yena no tlo South Africa is safe mo. That's why there are many generals that are there. I know that there's a certain peak that they won't reach because they are not associated with other people.
Yes.
Little did we forget in South Africa that we once had a national commissioner in the name of affirmative action that was taken from a banking desk to come and run the policing.
Who was that?
I think during the time of Commissioner Pierre. I'm not having anything against Commissioner Pierre.
Yes. During that.
Yes. Now
the Marikana era.
Thank you very much. So now, do you see how vulnerable the police is?
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair and honest, and many generals will attest with me. If you want to lead the police, to be fair and honest, you must be a policeman.
Yeah,
that is
true.
basic ground.
Yeah.
Bona, you can go and become a chancellor at UCT, go to any institution, but it's going to be different because policing is having its own culture. And of which that most small sacred culture starts at the police college. That is how it works.
You can't jump that.
You cannot jump that. That is why even as a provincial commissioner, you can be appointed there because it's also a political post. You'll go to a meeting at the national level. But that national level, it's chaired maybe by a divisional commissioner who's not a career policeman. I can tell you, during their smoke breaks, because you know nothing.
Oh, you know nothing. According to so those that are career policemen, they look at you as a
no, they just look. It happens even a constable, a mere constable. Utlo salute because I go meet Raymond. Give me your pocketbook. Una salute. Hey, how are you, Captain? Was it Buddhist? They don't. Let me tell you something. They don't. Maro, once the team that you are leading, they start realizing you know policing from humble beginnings. You know how to wake up 5 o'clock and make up your bed, polish your boots, irrespective of that. Others they even want to compare the SAPS training with other camps training outside the country, of which is not the same. You know, one psychological fact about the police, stand up straight, boss 8, chest out,
stomach in.
Yeah, and could you don't move. Could lead the breathing pulse out. Oscar breathe or KBC chicken. And I that person now found that command. Otama atra paradiso. and a witse bana o lebeletse ntšhia go tam a witse o teng wa e ruireng kante that person ha teng o go dan dumwacha o le shile
o le tlwetse
o tlwetse hona da fela. Those are the things that were prescribed in order to more how to discipline a person.
Yeah, and because you're saying something very important.
Yes.
If you skip culture,
If you skip the culture, or a certain subculture,
yeah,
then
you
it's a problem.
You can't instill something that you don't know.
Now I remember there was this entrance saying where Commissioner Pierre had ba mosaluta bara had na re thobela ira matsoso wa bona. I mean, you cannot acknowledge me ka thobela, and vele in our African culture
it's correct.
We tell go bangeng o tlhompha bontate and bona kana to salute. You know, that is a special greeting. Nobody can raise a hand like this. And let me tell you something, Mudev. When we are wearing mufti clothes like I'm wearing like today, even if I don't salute, I can brace to an officer. Why do that thing is still on me, though I'm even out of service?
Is it? Oh, so they know they
yes,
can.
so it's a salute I acknowledge. So that is why, you know, the other time I was with General Sibia during the ex-offender Simbizo that was hosted in Katlehong. We had a chit-chat, the General. That is maybe another advantageous part of being outside the police now. I can talk to generals directly.
Then you couldn't.
Yes. What's a General Sibia? You know, General, this thing of us of keeping the crime, because now I'm a crime prevention activist as we speak through my book. You release people from the service, but you don't untrain them. You release them with that experience, don't untrain them. Now, I get the feel pity. Now, I took a committee and it was fine. I was a rotten potato. I'm happy about it. And I'm happy that I left the dignified blue the way it was.
And you learned your lessons.
I've learned my lessons, you know. But motokono discharge you know, this issue about police corruption, it is very, 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 very big and diverse. You cannot reduce corruption to somebody ashuka 50 randa lokela ka marapotla. And normally when they talk about corruption in the police, they're talking about non-commissioned officers. They're talking about the constable, a sergeant, and a warrant officer, or sometimes a captain for that matter, because most of the captains in operational units like both flying squad, so they're on the streets. Both national intervention units, they're on the street. So somebody would say video through phone, but it's a corruption. Those people are rotten. No. I'll even argue it now. There is a big executive corruption that carries on within the South African police service space.
Explain
and
that.
Of which people let's talk about promotion policy. Something that I've just mentioned now. I mean, how accurate is their promotion policy to an extent that you take somebody from a bank if it's to commander a national rank. I mean, you want to tell me
but
that
you understand that's political.
That is why I'm saying that once we want to get this institution right, we must amend the constitution or the laws that governs the police.
Yeah.
You understand? You want to tell me that all the 4 deputy national commissioners, they didn't qualify for that post. Somebody to be called upon. Because remember, once we start placing them politically, that means even Namdeva after this show, if I'm a national commissioner, I can appoint you.
You can appoint
as a
anyone.
head, because you must come and protect me. For one, and then you must come and carry my interests. That is why the police, the way now, well, could you hear things, especially as the township guys? O kono botsa le ke mo type skipper sa political party rotla phonela General Mawela. And now botsa net Rashid numbers and nanga mo phonela. Where is policing, man?
Jesus.
Because Spodisa is not to cover the media or submit media reports. Spodisa se bereka silently.
How do you measure the true value of Bogata?
Thank you. That's a good question.
Yeah.
You know, all these political reports this year. In South Africa, do you know that we are almost, I think we are the 4th most dangerous country in the world when coming to crime now.
In matters, we hit some of the highest numbers.
And some of the people who have dented the institution, I am to blame. I'm taking that responsibility, you know. But, look, this thing is very, very urgent, actually. Things are not done according to a police culture. Police are police, they deliver, they execute. In the police, we don't we don't have this thing now is Easter a season or it's holidays. Somebody must be behind the mic and camera, national TV.
Let's announce.
Yeah, I don't know. Hey, you know, so vaya, I'm a roadblock way to Javis Valile. We're going to make all these operations. The police here, I'm a berete now. It is not a toy story. The police, if they want to do their work, they will do their work without even announcing where the roadblock is.
That's true.
We even hear intelligence information just being discharged, like as simple as that. And then you start asking yourself a question. You know, I was telling the other guys that, look, do you know most of the legal counsels, people who go through footages of the crime scene, Bakonobona, a very, very highly profiled politician, answer to the other side of the tape. It was to stop police crime scene. My moto contaminated scene.
And Rewona TV.
No, and it's normal. Nobody's saying anything. I'm free to say it whenever. I'm no longer in the police. Nobody will call me to a parade tomorrow. As a citizen of this country and the passion that I have for this country. Or we could have done something that is better. Do you know even the last junior rank as a constable, the first person to arrive at the scene, how can say that tip as Sila Sina as well? Ukanata captain, you'll ask the permission to jump in. I would say because each and every accountability on the particular crime scene is going to be him or her.
Because the last came on her first.
Thank you.
But what did you find?
He must be the first to come he must be the first to cordon the scene, and he'll be the last to leave the scene.
Sure.
There is no scene handing over.
We see it in the movies.
There is no even overtime because we are there to serve and to protect.
Yeah.
When you are there, you're not seeing 4:30. No, there must be knowing something. When we go seeing, we met about is either you're waiting for people for forensics, cameramen, ballistic experts to come and pick up the pieces there and there. When they are finished, they will declare that they are finished. When you are making a ticking box, your pocket book must be ready. Your OB entry at your particular station must be registered. Because everything that you do you cannot capture it inside your head.
No.
But let me tell you, in South Africa, you know, there was this latest announcement about Thabo Bester, about Dr. Magudumana. Na good reporter somebody. Those people, they were just 10 kilometers from Kenya. Then we have arrested them there, and he was not there. He was not even there. They were arrested 10 kilometers there. Then that is storytelling. That is not how the police execute duties. In the police, even if when there can be a massive cash in transit, let me tell you something. There is the Office of Communication. There is exposed person. Even if at times when the National Commissioner at the scene, he will report. You've got that already to be reported. But I will give you a clear example or an example of a scene. The police will always say that, yes, we do confirm that there was this particular scene this morning. Police are on hand. They are busy collecting evidence. The case has been opened. Police will do a further investigation. Amen.
Done. They don't have to explain more details.
We are busy following the other one. The other one, but he was hiding under. That is not... Look, that is not how you run a police institution. Police, if they want to execute, they will execute it silently. Like they did about me. I mean, I've tried for 8 years. They executed it silently. There was no report about a particular officer that is attending a case of possession for 8 years.
Corruption within the police service. How rife is it in your observation?
I can say that, look, other issues that I've already mentioned now about the 20 rands and the 10 rands and all these footages.
Do you consider that?
No, I think those are socio-economic issues.
Yeah.
Those are the things that the employer must sit down and draw new contracts, employment contracts with the employees, or they come up with some other strategies and structures on how that thing is eliminated.
You don't consider them as institutionalized. They are now part of the culture.
Yes, I can tell you that. One reason, I remember it was last week I was doing a stall exhibition of my book at Jubilee Mall. You know, my sister reminded me of, a certain event that almost slipped out of my memory. Dumisani, you still remember during your pass-out parade when we were doing a march pass by? A march pass by, it is when now the parade leaves the parade ground. Actually, like you make a final salute to the commissioner or the minister, is a march pass, or the president, even when he's there. Actually, it's like a graduation. A march pass or parade. People were screaming, cheering from the grandstands, and you try even on that video. People were talking about Jojo. At an entry level, I mean, constables are going home after they completed their basic training. But people were screaming, Yes. So issues of corruption, they are so they are very big because we cannot reduce them to only something that we see with our naked eye. That is why I'm saying that promotion policy, now according to me, that's my perspective. I think it is still part of executive corruption. Things that are not okay. We once heard that there was somewhere along the news, there was a maladministration of procurement and building funds, and a particular person was even promoted more after that. We never seen justice. And another thing, there is no consequences. So I think people, they keep on repeating the very same mistakes until now. People like me who come in the media platform with my face right to the camera and say that I have offended and it was not supposed to be executed in that fashion.
True.
You understand?
Yeah.
Because I think even the people who have arrested me, they never seen this coming. They thought it was the end. Remember, me at my crime scene, I was arrested by actually commissioned officers. It was higher ranks.
Sure.
The captain there told me, he's a black captain, he told me that, look, your career in the SAPS is finished now. You bring your appointment certificate. Before I even appeared in court, I'm going to strip you of your uniform. Those are the words that you'll hear when you are suspended as a policeman.
Yeah.
You'll never be a policeman again. All what you are subjected to do now is either you're going to be a car guard or a security guard. As if those positions are not the positions of employment, because car guards are so important. They're taking care of our cars while we are busy doing it shopping. A security guy, I respect security personnel so much because they are our eyes and ears. While we are asleep, those armed responses there. He told me that.
Sure.
It's either you are going to the township, you are go or join a gang, get the unemployed. Start drinking so beer. I was under 12-year-old anyway. Meno rusa one. Nakamasui. I want meno rusa. Otomoto vomikino. Skaliki hypertension. And then you just because you have been covered by being a policeman.
Yeah.
So there is nothing else that you can be other than being a policeman.
You do realize that the perception, that Chocho moment,
yes,
is an important moment because it's the perception. I'm very close to a police station, and we go there, we certify, and so forth.
Yes,
and I'm lucky that when I walk in, one of the guys listens to my radio show.
Yes,
so he recognizes me, and we've become buddies. And I remember he asked once, "Hey man, can I take a picture with you?"
Yeah.
And I agreed. But he said, "Ish, do you mind?" His question, the way he phrased it, he said, "Do you mind taking a picture with me? Capere uniform."
Yes.
Because
very interesting.
Because people don't respect our uniform. Now he's talking about the citizens.
Wow.
I know about respect. And listen to that statement. That statement is identical to Ashiwa George. It's exactly the same statement.
Yes.
But just from a different perspective.
From a different perspective.
One was from the community.
Yes.
And the other was from a police confirming what the community say.
Thank you very much.
So what do you say in relation to Makata and how us as the everyday people see them? Because do you agree with the people who were shouting Barashiwa Bachocho? Do you agree with them in hindsight?
No, I don't agree with them. Based on what? They have reduced an institution and its core mandate. Remember, policing is a public law enforcement agency recognized by the government. So it goes its own legislatures that governs it. So as you were saying, the way it is so rife, is like each and every policeman.
It's like that, yeah.
And it's not like that. That is why I say that I always, and let me tell you something, I always defend the police. Because I still even now think and act like a policeman, though I'm out of service.
Yeah.
Because other things, there can be a reasonability there and there. Like this current case about those VIP guys, deputy president.
Yes.
They've been some critics. We'll listen to different media houses, this and that about them. And as a policeman, I can even give you my point of view there.
Let me hear it.
I told people that, look, until I see the footage, remember, most of our freeways in South Africa, they've got cameras. Until I see a footage on how that polo was stopped or what happened before the stopping. I don't want to see police kicking people. Yes, we are not condoning it as a society. No amount of violence is appropriate, especially in the democratic society. We are not even promoting that. But let us look at the facts before we can jump into conclusions. Remember the case of Andries Tatane?
Yes, when he was shot with rubber bullet.
Yeah, he was shot with a rubber bullet at a close range, point blank. Ne? And apparently, may his soul rest in peace, he lost his life. The 3 police officers, I think it was South Gauteng High Court seated in Palm Ridge. They were discharged out of the case. The case was dismissed.
Was dismissed, yeah.
Based on what? On the closing remarks by the judge then, he said that Tatane was not a peaceful protester. So I think after 1994 in this country, we only gave the society the Book of Bill of Rights, but we have abandoned the responsibility of teaching the society in general about their particular rights and also their co-mandate and the responsibility
that comes with those rights.
Comes with those rights.
Yeah.
So it seems as if the South African society, as today, as we speak, you and me, like they've got the right to do anything. It's like police officers, they are nothing. It is like you are a police officer and then you are nothing. And I've got the right. Shoot me. How many videos do we see? So we have failed to teach the society. And I can tell you, maybe that thing is a result of the previous administration. The people in South Africa, they still see police. They don't see the police as their guardian angels. They see police as an enemy. I know it because I've once worn that uniform. I know even the temperature changes. Once you start wearing your belt, you get your firearm, you wear everything, including your cap. Once you start putting your foot outside of your yard, you're already vulnerable. You are vulnerable to an attack. You are vulnerable to an insult. You are vulnerable. It's like people, they are paying revenge based on what happened previously from the South African police, not the service at that particular time.
Do you fault? And I'll use your story as and you will tell us.
Yes.
As a cop that did the wrong thing.
Yes.
Do you fault the perspective of the everyday public? When
public opinion, yes.
Yes, when they see a cop like you who has done wrong, and then they say, demons, that's what. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Because you're given a higher calling.
Yes.
Our expectation of Ubabumfundis
yes
is lazy.
Yeah, and koleka.
You get what I
mean?
Because the unspoken rules, they're even in the Bible.
Yes.
That speak of the things that we should not do as everyday public. But then why the person, the messenger of that message?
Yes.
He's the one that's breaking them. And then when we say, we're born. And I don't want South Africans to then be judged harshly by a former police or a policeman.
Yes.
Because perception is all we have. We have nothing else to deal with here. If Rabona or Telamostrati, I respect it.
Yes.
And I respect the society. I respect the environment.
And the societal norms, you know.
And you can't then say, you guys are judging him harshly.
Yes.
Do you get what I mean? Thank you. All he had to do was just do the right thing.
You know, Mdeva, we can criticize a certain part about the previous administration before we were a democratic state, but we can also give credit to it about such issues, especially matters of that attract the public eye.
Yeah.
Let me put it in that way. You know, Mdeva, like Spudi Sasapili. They had their own standing orders and behavioral codes that a particular member's police or Moten. That is why police appeal before stand. That's what happens in the police now. I will always relate it to the basics.
Okay.
Kyle, you wouldn't have been a couple only 1.5 meters tall. Like, about 1.6
you were too short.
Yeah, my police are calling you
were too short.
Yes.
Your weight was an issue.
Yes. So Okonobono, this are Toma, this are ne. They were looking for a certain image that will handle the public.
Yeah.
It's fine. There is nothing wrong about getting shorter guys in the police because, well, anyway, now in a democratic state. But now, the previous command of the police, they knew and they've excelled about it. They knew about how to separate a behavioral issue and crime.
Okay.
Now I so believe her, Kale, leo reitiwa ka khale ka nako apartheid ne ntse motho a sukunyetsa something and nona leponisa le ne le mona na reportiwa and la report and if it even to the attention of the commander and then the previous administration used to deal with a particular member. So the very same police, because we owe it to the media, there are many other unnecessary things, like even the suspension of those VIP members today. I think they're just doing it to please the media because we don't have the other side of the story.
True.
Anyway, they are suspended with full salaries, but now we know they still get their chance to represent themselves. There is always the other side of the story. So if you know, in South Africa, we are nursing this issue where we must be relevant. And then without forgetting the legal facts. Because ask us, that's why that's why because I knew it. They didn't prove the scientific proof, and they must prove it that never and it's fine because I knew
so
that
based on circumstantial. Well, I guess they found them all the same.
Yeah, no, it's fine,
but they couldn't prove
it's
that
fine.
Indeed
that is why I get if is that you know what. I have to have a certain amount for me the resources. But because they knew what makes those deal, look at appeal, and it's fine. I didn't even need an appeal. Now, actually, to me, prison was a change that I needed for me to change.
King David Studio Podcast.